Welcome back to the deep dive. We sift through the sources, pull out the key insights so you get the full picture. Today, we're tackling a really interesting head-to-head in the compact EV world. It's the established Italian icon versus a big global challenger.
That's right, we're putting the Fiat 500e up against the BYD Dolphin. And this isn't just about comparing two cars, is it? It feels like they stand for, well, pretty different ideas about what an electric car should even be.
Totally agree. The Fiat 500e, you could say, is the heart choice. It's all about that design, the character, the history, but shrunk down for the city.
And then you've got the BYD Dolphin, very much the head choice. It's modern, efficient, absolutely packed with tech, and frankly, the performance numbers are designed to make you think. Challenges the old guard.
Yeah. Exactly. So for you listening, the big question running through this deep dive is, when you think about switching to electric, what's driving that decision? Is it the heart, the style, the feeling, the heritage? Or is it the head stars? The practical stuff, the specs, the range, the numbers. We're going to unpack that trade-off. Let's start where you first notice the difference. Design and, well, just how big they are.
Okay, let's kick off with the Fiat. You can't ignore the heritage. The 500e, like the original 500, it's just a design classic, isn't it? Some of our sources literally call it a rolling piece of art. It really tries to capture that Italian La Dolce Vita vibe, but electric.
And that small size is key to its whole identity.
Definitely. It's about 3.6 meters long, roughly. So it's purpose-built for city life, right?
Yeah.
Getting around tight streets, squeezing into parking spots, that's where it shines. True urban survival gear.
Yeah, I get the charm, the whole aesthetic appeal, but it is small. It feels like it's really designed for maybe one person, maybe two, in a very specific, dense urban setting. The BYD Dolphin, on the other hand, feels much more modern and practical in its approach. It's noticeably longer.
Oh, yeah, significantly. It's closer to 4.1, 4.2 meters.
Right.
That extra half meter or so, it makes a huge difference.
It really does. It shifts it from being just a city runabout to something more versatile, doesn't it?
Exactly. The Dolphin's design might not pull on the heartstrings in the same way. Maybe it's a bit more generic, modern EV, but it's way more functional. That extra length means adults can actually sit in the back without complaining too much. And the boot, well, you can fit more than just a handbag and a laptop, maybe even weekend luggage.
Right. So that's the first major choice for you, isn't it? Do you want that concentrated Italian style and incredible city agility with the Fiat? Or do you lean towards the modern space, the practicality, the sort of all-around usability you get with the BYD? Optimizing for the narrow street or optimizing for carrying people and stuff?
And that leads us nicely into the next bit, because size and purpose often influence the powertrain. Let's talk battery and performance. And this is where the Dolphin really starts to make that head argument very strongly.
Yeah, looking purely at the spec sheet, it almost seems like a mismatch here. The BYD Dolphin comes with a pretty hefty battery, relatively speaking,
Okay.
60.5 kilowatt hours. And that powers a motor putting out 150 kilowatts, which, for people thinking in horsepower, is around 204 CV, or metric horsepower.
So straight away, that puts the Dolphin in a completely different performance bracket compared to the Fiat. And with that much battery, you get a serious reduction in range anxiety. The claimed urban range, now these are official figures, is up to 520 kilometers.
Wow.
For a lot of city drivers, that could mean charging, what, once a week? Maybe even less. Plus, it supports faster DC charging too, up to 100 kilowatts. It fundamentally offers more freedom.
Okay, but let me just play devil's advocate for the little Fiat here. Does a city car need all that range and power? The 500e has a 42 kilowatt hour battery. The motor's 87 kilowatts, which is about 118 CV. Still perfectly adequate, right? And the official WLTP combined range is 320 kilometers.
And that's a fair point. What's interesting is that Fiat seems to have made a very conscious choice here. The 500e feels deliberately right-sized for its main job being a city car. By not putting in a huge, heavy battery, they keep the cost down, probably reduce the manufacturing footprint a bit.
And keep the weight lower, which helps with handling in town.
Exactly. It's tailored. So the Fiat avoids the cost and weight of a battery you might not always need.
So one buys you freedom from worrying about range, the other buys you freedom from paying for excess battery you might not use.
Sort of, yeah. But what about those occasional longer trips? Say you suddenly need to drive 150 kilometers out of town. That's almost half the Fiat's official range gone, just like that. Well, the Fiat does have decent DC fast charging, 85 kilowatts. So it can get a significant top-up, maybe in under 30 minutes, provided you can find a working fast charger, which is becoming easier. It feels like the Fiat approach is optimizing for, say, 95% of your typical journeys.
Whereas the Dolphin is aiming for 100% coverage, ready for anything.
Pretty much. So you, the driver, have to weigh that up. Does your lifestyle justify the extra cost and capability of the Dolphin's powertrain, even if you only use it occasionally?
It's a tricky calculation, which kind of leads us inside, doesn't it? Into the cabin, the tech, the safety systems. Round three.
Right, the tech and safety divide. And again, the Dolphin comes out swinging on the tech front. The absolute centerpiece is that huge screen, 12.8 inches, and it rotates. You can have it portrait or landscape.
Yeah, that's pretty showy. Landscape for maps, portrait for scrolling TikTok at the charger. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. But it is quite innovative, trying to adapt the display to the task. Makes navigation potentially clearer in one orientation, media better in another.
Beyond the big screen, though, the Dolphin usually packs in a lot more driver assistance tech as standard, right? The ABS stuff.
Definitely. We're talking 360-degree cameras for parking, adaptive cruise control that works well in traffic, proper lane keeping assist. It feels closer to that level 2 autonomy idea.
Yeah.
You don't really get that same level in the standard Fiat trims. And there's one feature we absolutely have to mention, which sources call a potential killer app for the Dolphin. V2L.
Ah, yes, vehicle to load.
Vehicle to load. Basically, it lets the car act like a big battery on wheels. You can plug normal electrical devices into it.
So like power a laptop or lights for camping?
Exactly. Or even theoretically, in a power cut at home, you can run essential things like your fridge for a short while off the car battery. That really changes how you think about what a car can do.
Okay, that is genuinely useful. Fiat, meanwhile, goes for, what did the sources say? Elegant simplicity.
Yeah, that sums it up well. It has a nice screen, 10.25 inches, which is still a good size, but it's integrated beautifully into that retro-style dashboard. It doesn't look like an afterthought like some screens can.
Right, it fits the overall aesthetic, and the focus seems to be more on making things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto work really smoothly.
It's prioritizing ease of use, maybe, over having every single bell and whistle.
Right.
The safety systems they're the essentials, but they're less intrusive, perhaps? Less about automating the drive.
So another question for you, the listener. Are you looking for a car that feels like a tech platform, embracing things like V2L and massive rotating screens, ready for the future? Or do you prefer something more classic, maybe more intuitive, where the tech supports the driving experience without dominating it?
And speaking of the driving experience, let's talk comfort. Round 4. Inside the cabin. Is it a cozy, stylish cocoon or more of a practical, spacious lounge?
Stepping into the Fiat 500e, it definitely has character. You feel it immediately.
It does feel special. Lots of neat design touches, that retro dash, nice materials in the higher trims, things like heated seats are available, and it just feels Italian. That's a fun place to be for a short trip. A stylish cocoon, like you said.
Yeah, it makes the commute feel a bit less mundane. The Dolphin, though, seems geared more towards comfort over longer distances and practicality.
Absolutely. You often get things like vegan leather seats, often with electric adjustment, which feels quite premium for this class of car, more versatile seating.
And there's a really key piece of tech here for comfort and efficiency, especially if you live somewhere with actual winters.
Ah, you mean the heat pump. Yes, critical point.
Explain that one. Why is it so important?
Okay, so in an EV, heating the cabin using old-style resistance heaters, like in a toaster, uses a lot of battery power. It can seriously dent your range in cold weather, sometimes by 25% or even more.
Right, I've heard that.
A heat pump works more like an air conditioner in reverse. It's much, much more efficient at moving heat around. So it warms the cabin using significantly less energy from the battery, preserves that precious range when it's freezing outside.
That's a massive practical win for the Dolphin then, especially for year-round usability as maybe a primary car.
Huge difference. And circling back to the size thing again, that extra space in the Dolphin just means more comfort for everyone, especially on longer drives. It's a viable small family car in a way the 500e just isn't.
So the Fiat is designed to make you feel good on those shorter hops, maybe prioritizes style.
While the Dolphin focuses on making longer journeys comfortable and maximizing efficiency year-round. Practical comfort versus stylish character.
Okay, final round before the verdict. Let's talk about living with these cars long-term. Service, maintenance, value, real-world ownership.
And this is where the established player, Fiat, has a potential trump card, especially somewhere like Italy or wider Europe, the service network. It's huge. It's been around forever. Getting parts, finding a mechanic who knows the car, dealing with routine maintenance. It should be straightforward, predictable.
That definitely offers peace of mind, doesn't it? It's a known quantity. Plus, being such an icon, the 500e likely holds its value pretty well, relatively predictably. It's the guarantee for today.
Exactly. Now, the BYD Dolphin,
Hmm.
it's the challenger. The service network is growing fast, especially in cities, but it's not at the same scale yet.
So there might be some question marks, like if you live further out, is there a trained technician nearby? Can they easily get specific parts for, say, the V2L system or that heat pump if something goes wrong?
Those are valid concerns for some buyers right now. But the counter-argument for the Dolphin is that modern dedicated EV platforms like its e-Platform 3.0 are actually designed for less maintenance overall compared to traditional cars, or even EVs based on older platforms. Fewer moving parts, simpler systems in some ways. Plus, its advanced tech and range might mean its resale value holds up better, or even increases as the market shifts more towards those features. It's arguably the investment ahead of the curve.
So it's the security of the established network versus the promise of future-proof tech and potentially lower running costs down the line. Interesting trade-off.
Okay, I think we've covered the key battlegrounds. Style, size, power, tech, comfort, ownership. Time to sum it up. Head versus heart.
All right. The Fiat 500e, it's pretty clearly the choice for the heart, isn't it? You pick it because you love the design, you want that authentic Italian feel, you need something incredibly nimble for the city, and you value the reassurance of that massive existing service network.
Nailed it. And the BYD Dolphin. That's the choice for the head. It's the logical pick if your priorities are different. You choose it for the superior range, the significantly stronger performance, the extra space and practicality, and the advanced technology like V2L and that efficient heat pump.
So let's boil it down one last time for you. Choose the Fiat 500e IF style is paramount. You live and drive almost exclusively in a dense city, and you want the absolute certainty of easy servicing and known resale value.
And choose the BYD Dolphin IF. Long-range driving is important. You want more power and performance. You regularly carry passengers or need more cargo space. And you value cutting-edge tech and efficiency features. Now, before we sign off, just one last thought to leave you with, building on that ownership point. If these advanced, purpose-built EV platforms like the Dolphins really do require significantly less maintenance over their lifespan as they're designed to, what does that actually do to the long-term value of having a huge traditional service network? How quickly could that promise of the future, low-maintenance, advanced tech start to feel more valuable, more secure to owners than the guarantee for today offered by the legacy service infrastructure? Something to think about.
That's a really interesting point, a dynamic that will definitely shape the market going forward. Whether you follow your heart or your head, though, both cars show just how far compact EVs have come.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we have time for on this deep dive comparing these two fascinating electric contenders. Thanks so much for tuning in.
We really hope breaking down the sources this way helps you figure out what matters most to you.
It was great digging into this one.
Likewise. Okay, don't forget to follow the channel.
So you catch our next deep dive.